On the board, the editorial board of our local hometown newspaper, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, stltoday.com. Good morning, Deb Peterson.
Pardon me. Good morning, McGraw.
You got a bone to pick with me this morning?
You, excuse me, you were already highly credentialed as anti-American for not liking, Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
What other things that people...
Fireworks going off in the city.
Americans generally like. You probably hate apple pie.
I love apple pie. I don't like fireworks going off in the city.
I don't like fireworks.
All right.
I'm with you on that one.
Okay.
However, at the zoo?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Why?
I think building a gondola over Highway 40 is like watching Rome burn, but say, hey, look at this beautiful gondola. We can't educate our children, and we're going to build a gondola over Highway 40 to go to another part of the zoo?
Well, I would certainly think education is our main priority. However, that is a state priority as well as a local priority, and I don't think building, attractive exhibits and things to do at the zoo takes money away from education. Plus, if I may add, do you know how much outreach the zoo does for educational purposes? I don't either, but it's a lot.
I don't either, but I'm sure they do.
I know they do a lot.
Look, I prefaced my comments as saying I don't mind them refurbishing the arch grounds. Right? I explained my bias to the zoo. I don't really get the zoo. I've been to the zoo. The zoo is nice. I like looking at the elephants, and the Somali wild ass sure is nice to walk by and see. I get it.
Have you seen the baby elephant? Excuse me? Maybe the cutest animal known to mankind?
Molly, my black lab, is the cutest animal known to mankind.
No. I'm sure Molly's darling, but the baby elephant, whose name I can't think of.
Raja? Is that Raja?
No, Raja is the dad. Raja's a big patriarch.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Again, while Rome burns, we're talking about a cute little elephant.
Well, there is a little bit about giving the masses, bread and circuses.
I mean, how about the point that two people were running in the park a 10th mile away from the zoo, had to pull out a Glock and shoot 3 people because they were...
You do. I don't... I think that's a very different thing. I don't want to talk about that. That's. Right. I think, first of all, that is something about that just doesn't sit well with me. The whole situation is strange. However, do I think it might have been a setup? It sounds odd to me. I just don't understand it. So I don't think a lot of people go jogging in the park at 11:15 at night, and it's, you don't want to be in places where you think your safety is going to be jeopardized. And if you do go there, you're in some danger. And if you're carrying a gun...
But that's exactly my point. Should you really feel in danger jogging at the Grand Basin at 11 o'clock at night?
Well, so what does that have to do with making better?
I'm just saying. My point is, it just seems as Rome burns, we're building gondolas over the highway. It just seems.
You can't possibly put all these things into one box. These are separate issues. We have crime issues. Every urban area and many rural areas have crime issues. But we have a great zoo. We have a world-class zoo. Why not build on the good things we already have in place and make them even better?
Okay.
Is that a bad idea?
Hey, you know what? I know. Look, I get it.
Do I have you at a loss for words?
I get you. I mean, there's nothing to argue here. You think one way, I think another way. It's,
No, I'm right and you're wrong. It's very simple.
Okay. So much for having a difference of opinion.
It is very family oriented. I don't know if you don't like being around crowds. It can be very crowded.
Look, I don't mind the zoo. I love the cultural institutions. But it's like you want to spend $700 million to have a retractable roof on the dome? No, we can't have that, but we certainly can build gondolas over Highway 40. I mean, what's the priorities here?
The dome is not visited by the many millions of people annually who visit the zoo. And I would like to see Jefferson and Franklin and St. Charles County residents who currently enter the zoo for free and are not charged for anything, they might be asked to contribute.
I don't have a problem. Look, I don't have a problem with that, and I suspect more people would visit the Edward Jones Dome if you built a gondola from the zoo to the Edward Jones Dome.
Well, if the Rams continue to play the way they do, you probably couldn't even get people to go on the gondola for free.
All right. What else? What else? What else do you want to chide me over this morning? What else is there?
Well, how do you feel about Peter Kinder, Lieutenant Governor Peter Kinder's? What would you call it?
Peter Kinder is telling people. Peter Kinder is telling people not to sign up for the exchanges.
Right.
But did you see what Senator Blunt said?
What did Senator Blunt
Senator Blunt said that you should sign up for these exchanges.
Well, he's right.
He says the exchanges will be nowhere near ready to be open on Tuesday, but the exchanges are there. People need insurance. He says don't go uninsured just because of Obama's health care policy.
Exactly. This is a developing law. This is a law that's on the books that needs to be refined, figured out, put into practice, and see how it flies. Same thing happened with Social Security in 1935 and with Medicare and Medicaid in 1965. There is historical precedent for the executive and legislative chambers to sit down together and make a better law. Not to tell people, oh, don't do this because if you do it, you will be aiding. Oh, I don't even get the thinking. I mean, so Peter Kinder tells people not to sign up because it will hamper the law from being implemented, when in fact he has insurance and you and I are covering it for, paying a large subsidy for his insurance. What is he telling the 800,000 uninsured Missourians to do?
He's telling him to go to the emergency room. Then we can pay for him that way.
There you go. So our insurance premiums will go up, our employers will pay more, and these people will remain uninsured. That is not a solution.
I just thought it was fascinating that Roy Blunt is going to lose his credentials as a Republican if he starts telling people.
Look at what John McCain has done. He denounced Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
I mean, there is such a split going on in the Republican Party among the moderate, thoughtful, reasonable Republicans.
Just like Roy Blunt, right? Moderate, reasonable.
Well, he's becoming more so, at least on some issues. Same with John McCain.
Oh, he's only moderate and reasonable when he agrees with you.
When I agree with him.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Deb Peterson. She sits on the editorial board, stltoday.com/news/opinion. Deb, have a good week.
Thank you so much, McGraw, and go to the zoo.